in Western Australia. Today I'm only going to talk about the lithium projects due to time, but if anyone wants to know more about the vanadium projects, please feel free to come and talk to me at booth 10. Our most advanced project is Kathryn Valley. It's located in central Western Australia. In early September this year we released a maiden resource around 21 million tonnes at 1.4% lithium oxide and 170 parts per million tantalum oxide. We're actually advancing a scoping study there as we speak, and we hope to release the results of this scoping study in late January next year. At the same time that's going on, we're doing metallurgical test work. The initial results are encouraging, and we hope to have some results out on the metallurgy shortly. Our second lithium project is Ballandra. It's in southern Western Australia. We only acquired this project late last year, and it's our second lithium discovery. We got some very good results from the maiden drilling program, and then we're now back there following up those results. The short-term objective here is to have a maiden resource out for the Ballandra project again in January next year. All of our projects are either 100% owned or we have 100% of the relevant mineral rights. Okay, moving on to Kathryn Valley. This is a breakdown of the resource that we released in September. As you can see there, it's 21.4 million tonnes at 1.4% lithium and 170 parts per million tantalum. There are a number of key takeaways from this slide that I'd like to point out. The two most significant are that 75% of the resource is in the measured and indicated category. And the other thing to point out is that the current resource uses a 0.5% cut-off grade for lithium oxide. But that cut-off grade actually doesn't matter much. We can actually double the cut-off grade to 1% and we end up with a similar number of tonnes. So it's a very robust ore body. You're either in mineralisation or you're not. And it's something we're looking forward to moving along. Some of the other key aspects of the project is it's spodumene related mineralisation, so that's why the metallurgy is good. The mineralisation outcrops, it's suitable for open pit mining, it's located on granted mining leases, and it's also located very close to established infrastructure including sealed highways. The other standout feature of Kathryn Valley is the lithium grade. This chart just compares us with a number of our peers. And you can see the grade of at 1.4% lithium is head and shoulders above most of them, which I'd like to point out does include a number of operating mines in Western Australia. Mount Catlin, owned and operated by Galaxy, and Bald Hill, which is owned and operated by Tawana and Alliance. Okay, this is what it looks like. We have two prospects, Kathryn's Corner and Mount Mann. We have a total of 18 mineralised pegmatites. They're stacked. Most of them are shallow dipping, less than 20 degrees, so they're suitable for open pit mining, and they outcrop. And individually they're up to 20 metres thick, so they've got some good size. At Kathryn's Corner, we define mineralisation over more than 1 kilometre of strike and down dip at least 800 metres, which because of the shallow dip only equates to about 150 metres vertical. And the system is still open at long strike and at depth. Mount Mann, we have mineralisation over 650 metres of strike. It's open at depth, and the plan is to get back in and follow these up and extend the resource as soon as we can. Okay, this is what it looks like in 3 dimensions. You can see there we have most of the pegmatites are at Kathryn's Corner. 16 of the 18 pegmatites are over here. They're shallowly dipping, and they actually extend all the way across to Mount Mann, where we've intersected them in the deeper holes at Mount Mann, and we fully expect these things to keep going down dip. The upside is very good. As I've mentioned before, this slide just shows the existing resource in dark blue, and the areas in green are the areas where we can quickly add to the resource. In addition to that, late in the drilling program, we discovered a new pegmatite, so we actually have 19 mineralised pegmatites. There's only a single hole, a shallow high-grade intersection that's completely open at depth and along strike. In addition to this, the whole system disappears under cover to the northwest. It's shallow cover, and there's been no exploration done on this part of the world at all, not even for gold. So The upside to increase the resource at Kathryn Valley is very high. Okay, going on to Ballandra. As I mentioned, it's in southern Western Australia. Like Kathryn Valley, the mineralisation is outcropping, it's fresh, it's spodumene related. The main deposit there is Anna, where we've defined mineralisation over 650 metres of strike, and it's still open. We're back there doing the second phase of drilling. We've actually upgraded this drilling to a resource drill out. We've completed core drilling, so we'll be able to do some metallurgical test work later this year. It's similar geology to operating mines at Mount Marion and Bald Hill, which are to the north. And again, the infrastructure is fantastic. We're less than a kilometre away from the Sealed Air Highway and only 30 kilometres east of Norseman, and a railway line that services the mineral exporting port of Esperance about 200 kilometres to the south. This is a plan of what it looks like. We've got the darker orange as the outcropping part of the Anna prospect. It disappears to the southeast under cover, and you can see there we have continuous mineralisation over more than 600 metres of strike. Good widths up to 58 metres, and these are close to true widths, and within those wider zones we have some nice high grade, including 20 metres of 1.6 and 18 metres of 1.7% lithium oxide. This was the discovery section earlier this year, fairly exciting results, up to 58 metres of 1.2% lithium oxide, and then we've come back and we've stepped out to the southeast, and this is just an example of some of the more recent results we've been getting. You can see there the mineralisation is still very strong, 35 metres of 1.2, including 18 metres of 1.7. Ideally suited to open pit mining, a nice shallow dip and good widths, and it outcrops. Upside, again, very good. Ballandra is part of a larger land position. We have 600 square kilometres under tenure. The Norcott project immediately to the south, we already have identified outcropping lithium mineralisation. And the Kilolo project is something we've just acquired a month or so ago, and that's immediately along strike, west and northwest of the Anna pegmatite, and we're confident we'll define more spodumene-bearing pegmatites that we can get in and test next year. So going forward, Kathryn Valley scoping study will be out in January next year, and we're covering off on all the parameters that we need to do for that scoping study. And then the plan is to move fairly seamlessly or straight into a feasibility study, the results which we should see in the second half of next year. At Ballandra, we want to get a maiden resource out for that project. And if that stacks up, which we think it will, we'll move that onto a scoping study as well. And at the same time, we want to start the regional exploration there and identify identify more targets for drilling. Toolabuck I haven't talked about, but we do have a JORC resource there in excess of 80 million tonnes. We've got an exploration target on top of that of more than 100 million tonnes. So the plan is to extend the existing resource and collect samples for metallurgical test work, which is probably the critical aspect of looking for vanadium. So just to conclude, we have a very experienced, well-credentialed board and management. So we have the people in the company to drive these projects forward. And we also have the money in the bank to actually be able to fund the scoping study and advanced drilling at Kathryn Valley, at both projects. And that's it. Thank you very much.